Good morning, Zio here. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that now. I also have a Twitter, a YouTube, and a BitChute, so follow me in all areas to keep up to date. Yeah, that sounds good. Just do it. Hit a like, share the video, all that jazz. But today, we talk about a patent from Sony themselves, who is looking to, not sure what the best word here is, capitalize on something that you enjoy a lot. I know you enjoy it because I love these things too, and Sony knows you love them. So let's go ahead and just jump into it, shall we? So what is this thing that you enjoy and I enjoy and Sony knows that we all enjoy? Well, it's surprise mechanics, of course, because everybody loves surprises, right? Right? Don't give me that look. You're giving me a look, aren't you? Yeah, I know, microtransactions are horrible. Anyway, that's exactly what this patent is designed to do, though, to push those microtransactions. Isn't it lovely? Look at this. This is just great. It's right here. If you can't see it, well, it's a diagram of how this patent is supposed to technically work. So, we of course have the patent itself. Sony. Now, before we get into this, of course, this isn't the first time that somebody has filed a patent that just honestly seems like a really bad idea, at least to the gamer or something, especially on Sony. I believe Sony did patent something a few years back about interactive commercials or something, where you had to like get up and talk to your PlayStation or something and say the name of whatever it is just to get it to stop. And that went over like a lead balloon. So we never did see that one come into fruition, luckily. This one, of course, is another one of those that I really hope to never actually see show up anywhere, for various reasons. Mainly because I hate pop-ups. Hate them. That's why I can't game on my phone for very long. If I am playing a game and it takes me a few, 30 or 40 seconds to beat whatever level or whatever it is, or 15 seconds, and then I gotta sit through a 30-second ad every video, or, every level, that's a quick way for me to, uninstall that game real quick. But this one works a little bit different, so let's go over here for a second. But Sony has filed a patent for a system to help you beat bosses you're stuck on by giving you hints pointing you towards microtransactions. And this could be a problem for a few things that I will explain here in a bit. A brief overview of the in-game resources surfacing platform outlines a language processing system that identifies an object in the game you're stuck with and finds relevant solutions, including if there's DLC or other items available in the game store. Drawings that accompany the patent show on-screen prompts giving you advice about which moves to use in 2018's God of War to beat a boss, although it's overlaid on an image of the world serpent, who is an ally, not a boss. Anyway, when it comes to that, that's not that big of a deal. It's this picture right here, by the way. When it comes to that, Sony owns God of War, so they can use the images as they please, and since it's the big thing that they own, they kind of use it in a lot of marketing stuff, especially when it comes to their patents and things. I don't see God of War suddenly having microtransactions. Just gonna put that out there, but it's always possible. So that whole thing that I'm pretty sure somebody out there has probably rung the alarm bell for, disregard that. And like Sony and Xbox, PlayStation 5 decide, yeah, we're gonna microtransaction the out of that game. It's probably not, especially since Sony has a pretty good track record of kind of letting companies just do as they do. So I don't see Santa Monica actually throwing microtransactions in, but that's just a side note. Anyway, those hints are not necessarily confirmed to helpful advice, as the process can identify certain resources that players may be lacking in order to continue, which may also be available through purchasing microtransactions or an in-game store. And that's that picture we started off with, right? This one right here, where you've got the thing and the person's like, hey PlayStation, how do I defeat the boss? Because I just can't figure it out. And PlayStation's like, well, hello, Timmy. 8% of players like you defeated the boss using resource X. And then prompts them to, Timmy, buy resource X now for $1.99 or $2.99 or whatever the number is. Anyway, so you can defeat the boss. Yeah. His name's not Timmy if you're not watching. Anyway. Often, there may be an in-game resource of the game's environment that could aid the user in accomplishing the object with their character. The patent states, the in-game resource may be downloadable content, DLC, add-ons, upgrade items, tips, strategy, communal data, etc. However, the user is not necessarily aware that such a resource exists. Alright, so how can this be abused? How could this be abused? Through dynamic difficulty. That's how this thing can be abused. So, do you know what dynamic difficulty is? If you don't, I'll just do a quick TLDR because I don't have definitions on hand or anything. But essentially, some games don't have the option of, say, like easy, normal, hard, extremely easy, things like that, right? Some of these games run off of dynamic difficulty. Am I going to give you an example? No. I'm sorry. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, which it's funny because I've been racking my brain going, who uses dynamic difficulty? Because I've played the games. I probably own them. I just, for the life of me, can't think of what games actually use dynamic difficulty, and I didn't think ahead to Google it. So I'm sorry. Anyway, so you got dynamic difficulty, right? TLDR. You throw yourself at a boss like 4 or 5 times, and the boss has been wiping you out with this big mega attack that just practically depletes your health, and he chucks it at you like 2 or 3 times really quick in succession or something, and you just can't escape all of them, and it just decimates you every single time. And then on the 6th try, you go in, and the boss uses it once near the end of the fight or something, or doesn't use it at all. And you sort of breeze through the fight suddenly. That is an example of dynamic difficulty, where the boss is, where the game has identified the fact that you've been throwing yourself at this boss X number of times. Let's make it a little easier on the player so they can finally overcome this hurdle and move on. Now, when it comes to dynamic difficulty, there are pros and cons with that aspect altogether, of course. You know, like for instance, the pros, you're getting constantly better at the game without realizing that you're technically getting better, because it slowly ramps up the difficulty, throwing challenges and stuff at you. Meanwhile, you know, it allows you to possibly overcome something that you may have no business actually overcome because you haven't actually found out the solution to it or something like that. Honestly, I think there's more pros to dynamic difficulty than it does when it comes down to it. It makes you a better player at the game. Just slowly but surely, you do get a lot better at the game as a result. However, because of things like that, it could be abused incredibly hard with a patent like this. It's real simple. Dynamic difficulty kicks in and says, hey, player X has not bought anything from the store since they bought the game or whatever, or since, you know, they last, you know, logged, or they've, I don't know, the last 3 times they've turned on the game or something. Let's increase the difficulty of this next boss or encounter super hard just so we can push item X or something like that. Or, you know, maybe it's chemical X, you know, that they're pushing onto the player so they can, you know, say, hey, use this. That could be a problem. Abuse of that system would be horrible. I just, no. Another thing, of course, with this whole thing, can you turn it on and off? Honestly, I would prefer to be able to toggle it on and off, because if there's anything I hate, it's pop-ups in the middle of gameplay telling me something that I really don't care about at the moment unless I search it out. The patent goes in like we're a bunch of stupid people playing games, of course, talking about how gamers just can't figure it out, or they've got to talk to their friends or look at strategy guides or you know, something else. It doesn't once, of course, mention we could just Google it. It's real simple. If there's something you're stuck on and you really just don't want to deal with it, Google, how do I beat the two-headed wyvern? And you know, whatever game, you'll get a result. In fact, you'll probably get a video that shows you exactly how to go about doing it. So, you know, even if we aren't able to figure it out, the resources are available for us to figure it out without this system at all. But this system, of course, is designed to say, hey, see you're having trouble with the two-headed wyvern. Did you know if you buy this great sword for $199, players have had a 50% chance, or 50% more chance at beating the boss or something within like 2 minutes? I don't like that. It's one of my biggest gripes, I think, with like Mega Man X5 and 6 is the fact that Ayla interrupts you constantly to tell you stuff that I don't really care about and wish I could just turn her off and say, hey, you, shut it. Don't talk to me. Because I just want to play through the game and stuff. And especially when she's like, hey, if you hit up and do that. I'm like, nee, come on now. I mean, Roll suffers from the same problem sometimes in Mega Man Legends, but it's more manageable there. Anyway, I just really hate that sort of thing. So that would be something I would definitely want to turn off immediately when booting up a game if something like this happens. But then again, we've seen plenty of patents go through from Activision, Sony, and several others that were really suspect. And one of those... but we haven't actually seen them in, you know, works, you know, actually working or doing, or they've been doing them and it's just been in the background, nobody's noticed. One of the three. Anyway, I thought this was just an interesting thing to bring up that Sony is looking into, of course, and I guess I pass the question off to you on the now. What is it? What is the question? What do you think? Do you want to be advertised to when you've slammed yourself against the boss a couple of times and the game is like, hey, buy this shield now and you might be able to beat the boss easier? Or giving you hints like, I don't know, equip poison and it will do better? Or you not like this sort of thing? Let me know about your thoughts down in the comments below and I will talk to you later. See ya. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.